we have a quorum, let's go ahead. I need to beg you. All right, good evening everyone. Welcome to the annual general meeting of CLO Cooperative Housing Society Limited. We were supposed to start at 3 p.m. There was no quorum, so we are starting again at 3:30. Today is 21st September 2025. So let's begin. First of all, let me welcome all of you to P1. This wasn't the venue, as most of you are aware. This was supposed to be the clubhouse, but due to unforeseen and unfortunate circumstances, we are conducting this AGM here. Not ideal conditions, but this is what we could manage within the short time we had. Anyways, the discussions that we'll have are very important and critical. So my request is to please bear with the conditions. We'll try to wrap it up within 3 hours that we have budgeted. We will need your cooperation in ensuring that while we will allow questions, we will limit the number of questions so that we can complete our agenda and wrap it up within the timelines that we have suggested. And once again, welcome to all of you. So we're starting the meeting officially. I'll just read out the agenda items. All of you have received a copy, but just capturing it, right? So the first agenda item is to read and confirm minutes of the meeting of previous annual general meeting held on 29 September 2024, to present and approve the annual budget for the financial year ended 2025, 31st March, and the statements of accounts, income and expenditure, and the balance sheet as on date of 31st March 2023, 2024, and 2025, together with the auditor's report thereon as of 2023, 24, and 25. So we have 3. Approval for transfer of suspense account balance to reserve and surplus fund up to 31st March 2022. Welcome and accept new members who have purchased flats in the year 2024-25. Then to appoint and reappoint auditors for statutory auditor for financial year 25-26. TDS, GST and income tax, we appoint the auditor, CA for year 25-26. Internal auditor for the year 25-26 on an ongoing basis. We want to appoint. To approve the annual budget for financial year 26-27, approval to print up to 25 new share certificates in continued serial number, add new members as necessary, updates on all legal cases, updates and next steps on some key projects and their status completed, approval for installation of water level monitoring system meters and civil plumbing work, solar project updates and next steps on leakage and seepage project, updates on federation, handover and conveyance, resubmission of all property and parking related documents to the Society Office for Records and conveyance process, penalty and legal actions against members not submitting documents intimating Society Office while giving property on change or tenancy, and any other business with the permission of the chair. Now, we may make some changes to the agenda flow just so that we ensure that we cover all important points first, and some discussions, especially the federation and conveyance. I'm sure a lot of you have many questions. We'll keep that to the end so that we can have more detailed discussion. With that, we will start, and I'll hand over the first agenda item is to read the meetings of the previous meeting. Now, the meeting minutes have been shared with all of you over email. In the interest of time, I would ask the general body if you want to go through all the meeting minutes, read it out, actually verbatim right now, or because you guys have had the opportunity, we can just consider this as read because you've received it well in advance, at least 15 days, and we can pass this. Those who in favor of?
I have a query. Have you changed the agenda points?
No, we
What is so let me talk. Just the first point.
Yeah.
So it's the read and confirm the minutes of previous AGM on 29 September 2022 and SGM on 21st April 2022.
Correct. So we'll come to that. So the invite when we sent it out, right, along with the agenda, the SGM minutes have been already approved in subsequent meetings. So that is the reason in this presentation we have not added. The agenda is active. Right, we'll come to that. So the
All minutes should be approved in general body.
Yes.
AGM minutes.
AGM meeting.
AGM, you have to approve even the AGM minutes.
Yes.
You cannot approve in individual.
We got them approved in the previous one.
There is no provision like that. It has to be approved in AGM only.
Okay, so we had them read in the previous
And
meeting.
SGM minutes is also not published anything. 21st April wala.
Sorry, which one?
21st April 2024, SGM ka minutes is not published.
No, we had published when it was done after the SGM was held in 2024 and before the next SGM, we had published them. We had read out in the even the SGM that happened after that in 2024.
21st April 2024 minutes is not there. And you have not given the attachment as well in this agenda as well. So you have put that thing agenda, you have not given that agenda item the attachment.
Right. So what do we do?
And your auditor report has also marked that particular point. Your SGM minutes is not published. Internal audit as well as statutory audit.
Yeah, we clarified that, right? But into this, we've got all the SGM minutes approved in the subsequent
You
SGM.
have not published it, sir. That's what I'm saying. Your
We have
auditor remarks is also.
We have sent it over email to all members.
Just check your auditor's remark.
That is what I'm saying. So the auditor's remark, we
There is one more
will.
point in auditor's remark. Statutory auditor is saying there are 4 SGM held and internal auditor is saying 2 SGM held. I don't know what conflicting points they have made here, but that is also a point.
Maybe we can come to that when we get the auditor's report. For the previous SGM, AGM, right, 2024, we've shared the minutes. Even when the minutes were drafted, we've shared the points at that time. So the first agenda point is for the AGM of 2024. So can we get those minutes approved?
So in interest of time, lot of cross questioning should be avoided first. Second, two more points.
Just a second. Can we have the second mic? Where's the second mic? Okay, because no, it has to be captured in the camera. Without that, it's very difficult. It will only be the committee and the people over here who are speaking. Someone getting the mic? Okay, but can you just speak a bit loudly so that your name is seen?
So what I am saying is, in the interest of the time, we should avoid doing cross questioning because he is also a member, we are also a member, and apart from your side, you have to be clear how you set the agenda on what basis. Before you discuss about the agenda, you just let us know in 1 year what all things have been done for this.
Right. So agenda, some of the parts are, mandatory for every AGM to have, right? Like some things related to financial, the previous AGM meeting minutes and everything. That's why some elements are standard. Others are based on what the society's needs are and what you need to get approved if there are any major projects. So that's how the agenda was formed. So as part of the first agenda, the minutes have been shared with you. I hope you guys have had the chance to review them. And if yes, then we can go ahead and accept that in 2024 AGM minutes. So that is the resolution for agenda number 1. Those who are okay, those who have read and then can confirm, they please raise their hands and we can get that first agenda sorted. Right, can we have a show of hands please? This is to get the AGM 2024 minutes approved. Right? Okay. So I think with majority this has been approved. We need a proposer and a seconder for this one. Can someone just raise their hands and mention the flat number and name? Please say your name and you'll have to be a bit loud till we get the camera. Sorry, mic. Mr. Pradeep Pujari, A wing 2201. Mr. Pradeep Pujari 2201. anyone is the proposer, seconder of Billing 11.
Kunal Paul, A-Wing 1102.
Mr. Kunal
Kunal Paul,
Gold, A-Wing
1102.
1102. All right, thanks. We'll move on. I'll pass on the mic to my colleague, our treasurer, Smita Damodaran. She will be presenting the next few slides.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hi, this is Smita here. So, the next, before the slides come up, the next point that we will discuss is the audited financial statements and the audit report for the financial years 2023, 2024 and 24-25. So while all of you have received the audited financial statements, the P&L and balance sheet, I have received one mail from Karan with the detailed analysis on the P&L. Thank you, Karan. I think Karan, I have to mention every year, even when the AO was there, his detailed list of questionnaire always brought out what issues came up. And this year with us, we have an equal number of queries, but not all that I'm solving, but at least with regards to finance points, I will pick these up. And I can say this. So, while if anybody have shared the queries with us, if not here, I will, in paucity of time, I will address these later. We can please email them to us. Since Karan has already put this into us, I will answer some of these out here. Karan, I am taking mostly my area. Okay. So the first point that you mentioned about the audit Form O report, and I'd like to put forth here that the Form O report for audited financial year 2024, we were actually a little delayed in submitting it to the DIR. A couple of transactional issues where we didn't understand what all needs to be identified, several emails going across to the auditor and stuff. So it was not an intentional one. We submitted it a little late. This year we will, we will regularize it and within 90 days. Another question from you was on the office computer systems. There is an expense of mileage coming in, and you asked about the income. This income is there around 75,000 from mileage is showing in the other income side. So we can have a look at that profile. One more question on STP plant, whether the taxes on the STP plant has been paid by us. No, this has been stopped from the financial year 22-23. This is no longer paid by us. This is paid by the Lotto. So this.
My point over here is that if you just enlarge this enlargement. So in results and circular, these are the amount that we have received or we are going to receive, correct? So if you see during the year STP plant PD, so it's a property tax PD I correct? So it's a PD, it's a property tax, correct? So we have received the property tax or we have paid?
The bill. It is the billed amount.
It's a billed amount. So billed amount to whom?
So property tax, whatever was related to STP for the financial years prior to 2023, these have been billed to Lotto. These have been. So these have been all the STP bills that CLO has paid prior to 2023 has been billed to Lotto, and this has been accounted as prior period income in the balance sheet.
But it has to be in the outstanding of Lotto, 9 lakhs or 10 lakhs.
It's a presentation slide. It's a presentation thing. We can use it. So even auditors did not really highlight it to us. But I take your point. It's actually
How
right.
long will go into prior period adjustment? I don't know what figure will go into prior period adjustment. That's 34 lakhs and 9 lakhs.
We can
In the coming years, I don't know if it will go to 50 lakhs as well. So people will not know what is this NDA all about.
Okay.
So I don't know. It's a right
No, so we
presentation
can,
issue or
I understood. So what we do is we can rightfully, I'll just close this point, sir. So we can rightfully, currently it is showing separately, not as a part of Lotto, right? So we will talk on we'll take care of the presentation and we
What is this 34? Now 34 has been plus 9 has become 41. So this is
Currently,
what
I have an answer for you.
No, point is that after 2 years, people will ask for 50 lakhs, 70 lakhs. What is this?
Then one day it will come for write-off.
We invite you to the office, come and have a look with us at the ledgers.
So we are definitely able to come, but point is that there should be predefined time where people should be called off. We have got short time, we have raised these meetings, and we have been all.
I will solve it.
I think after AGM, you circulate to member what is this prior period adjustment, what are the components, what is it consist of, so other people are aware.
Point taken. Let us take that down.
Point taken, sir. Prior to
And details of whatever these adjustments are.
That SPP plan detail is there. I don't think so it should be over here, but I think it should be
That is again, so the STP plant treatment entry should be
under the detail.
that is something we will. Just for the information of everyone else, so current is a very valid point, and this is connected to something we will discuss later on as well. So as you may be aware, the STP plant is in our premises, and previously we were paying the property tax. The plant is not owned by us, it's under LODA, and we were previously paying property tax. So what we've done is we've stopped that practice. We've sent them the bill and we've told them this is something you're supposed to pay. And we've also proceeded with, with our lawyer working on this, right? That this is something you own it, conveyance hasn't happened, which is technically it is not ours. They are supposed to take care of all the expenses, including property tax. So this is the entry that is showing over there. And some members have made some suggestions how to treat it and show it a bit differently. But that is what this amount is all about. Thank you. Rasmita.
Thank you. One very pertinent point, thank you Karan for that. One is where we would like to inform you all, I don't know how many of you have noticed, maybe a quick quiz, how many bank accounts does CLO have? How many bank accounts does CLO have as a society? Not your child.
Only one.
So the answer is we have 4 bank accounts. Okay, we have in Saraswat, Bharat Bank, we have with TTDC, Thane Distribution, and last one is with SBI. The distribution is TDCC and SBI. We have a fixed deposit, FD account. So no operations as such, FD account. Our main accounts, or the only one main account through which we operate is the Saraswat Bank. But we have inflows coming in from members in Saraswat as well as Bharat. So we can say Saraswat and Bharat are our mainly operative banks. Bharat is the one where we don't do any external outflows. All outflows go only from one bank account, that is the Saraswat bank account. And this, I wanted to put out this point because Karan mentioned that we actually need to put this out to the audit, DYR also. This is a process required. So we inform you that there are 4 operative bank accounts and then we submit it to the DYR. Right, Karan? This has to be taken as a process.
These points are covered into the audit report as well. So they are also pointed out. So these are the very small points which we can get it clarified and covered to the minutes. So that is done. So you should take this thing as a minutes and get the approval and signature as well. We don't have any concern on these things.
Yeah, so I think I'll take this as an appreciation indirectly that the 24-25 audit report from a financial aspect, we've had no observations, negative observations. If you all have gone through, you will see that from a financial perspective, from an accounting standpoint, this year we've got no observation, negative observations. And one of the big thanks I will give to Ranjana again, who's sitting there.
it reads that, actually the interest is not received during the year. It will be received at the time of the maturity. So the said amount has to be taken in the respective fund ledger, but taking it into income of the every year, the deficient amount is affected. Actual deficient amount is reduced by the interest figure. This need to be considered. So actually our losses are more because the interest amount, whatever this observation is that it is not actually received by us, it is accrued amount. So this means that not only this year, earlier balance sheet also need to be adjusted accordingly. Thank you.
Karan is also.
So I would say that if we are going these 3 points, we should have a separate SGM to get detail on this thing, and we can take 1 month's time and we can rectify those things rather than utilizing whole 3 years to account, because there are a lot of points.
Rectification in this particular, okay, you're saying
Not
that
only for this point, but there are a lot of things. So auditor has to figure out.
We have to prepare the form. We can do that before submitting the form.
I think we will have separate SGM for it, we will discuss that.
SGM or either we can call the meeting with the
So that is the
So, as Karan and Jayant Pandey have suggested, there are points in the audit report that need a resolution. They've been pending issues for a while, and we also have to submit an audit rectification report. So what we can do is we can have that meeting before submitting. I think there's a timeline. There's a 90-day timeline to submit the form or report. So we should have that before, so that the committee as well as the general body is aware what measures we are taking. And if we have to take some approvals to make those changes, then we can do that and finally submit the form or report. So we will work on this. We will get back to you with a date for the SGM for specifically getting these issues resolved. Please mention your name and take that mic. I would request anyone, see, I'm aware, I know people personally, this is for records purposes, so that we capture this later on in the minutes.
D101 विदेश तिवारी सर, ये समझना था कि 4 करंट अकाउंट ओपन कर रहे हैं और हम बोल रहे हैं कि समझना कि अकाउंट में 4 करंट ओपन कर रहे हैं और ऑपरेट हम एक कर रहे हैं, खाली कि जहाँ से आउटफ्लो हो रहे हैं, तो ये जो पैसा पूरे साल भर रहेगा उसमें हमें इंटरेस्ट लॉस तो नहीं होगा?
Yeah, that is a good question. So, you want to answer that? Okay.
तो उसमें से जो 2 अकाउंट हैं जो मैंने पहले बताया, TDCC एंड SBI, ये FD अकाउंट ही है और हमें इंटरेस्ट मिल रहा है उसमें।
नहीं, करंट अकाउंट की बात कर रहा हूँ मैं।
Current
FD
account?
अगर आप देखेंगे ना,
Yes.
फिक्स्ड डिपॉजिट में भारत कॉर्पोरेट 75
भारत एंड
स्टेट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया के 20 लाख है।
करेक्ट।
सेम अमाउंट अगर आप देखेंगे भारत कॉर्पोरेट में पहले 2 लाख था, अभी 22 लाख है। मैं अगर 22 लाख का अगर मैं 6% भी पकड़ूँ तो वो 1.5 लाख रुपये जो नुकसान हो
यस
जाएगा।
यस। सो भारत बैंक में इनफैक्ट एक ऐसा इनिशिएटिव जो हमने लिया है, जो भी हमें रिकवरीज एंड ये सब आए हैं, हमने सब भारत बैंक में रेगुलरली हम वहाँ पे मूव होते हुए, जिसकी वजह से आप ये बैलेंस हाई देख रहे हो। सो दिस द FD part is definitely is next thing that we are working. Already we have done 3 lakhs in July 25. 3 lakhs का हमने already FD बना दिया है and every month we will start now. So we take your point. Yes, you are right. We are.
और मैं एक्चुअली अगर देखा जाए इतने सारे अकाउंट्स अगर मेंटेन करेंगे तो इसमें चार्ज भी लगते हैं, मंथली चार्जेस, जो अकाउंट मेंटेन चार्ज रहता है वो भी चार्ज ऐड हो जाएगा।
Right. So this is again an important point, and thanks for bringing this. So there are a couple of things we are considering regarding our accounts in cooperative banks. One big concern, more than the charges itself, is that they are cooperative banks.
तो अगर एक्चुअली FD का जो अमाउंट है ना, अगर हम स्टेट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया में ज़्यादा रखें तो ज़्यादा फायदा रहेगा सिक्योर।
That is something that we are considering. We haven't decided anything. We'll of course consult the people. We'll also weigh the pros and cons. The big drawback with cooperative banks is they are cooperative banks. There is always a much higher risk, right, of the banks going bankrupt and many other challenges. But the one key advantage is any interest that is generated from cooperative banks, that is not counted towards our income. So we are not taxed on that. So that is one big advantage. That is how people are getting their FDs. So there are some options we have discussed internally, Smita, I and our internal auditor as well. We are still working out on how to make those changes to ensure our money is safe. That's all the money we have. Plus there is a trade-off. completely chargeable. So there are some trade-offs. We will get back to you with a proper, well thought through plan, like what consulting our CA and other experts, that yes, we want to rationalize the number of accounts as well. Some of them, as Smita mentioned, are pure FD accounts. So whatever money is coming in, the other money that you see is we've kept some of the amount for us to be able to meet our expenses. Sudden, expense like 3 lakhs, 5 lakhs, whatever. Of course, with approval, right? We have that. If you put it in an FD, there's another process and approval required to break that FD. So that is for right now. This is purely for that reasons. There are other options available that banks provide. When you open an OD account, you can draw in and draw out money quickly, and whatever money is there, they are not charging interest. So you can borrow as well. There are a lot of ideas that we've received. We've worked on. Thanks for that.
I think Karan, like you mentioned, the points that you put forth, these will be taken up in the
Other
audit.
points as well. But
Yes, the five car have covered some of the finance points, but we'll take it separately. Yes, point accepted that audit report rectifications, we will have an SGM, and then we will get these added in the rectification report. Now, one thing that from an audited financial statements, last year when we had to approve the audited reports of 22, 23, 24 and the current financial year, this was not approved in the last year because of various queries and no confidence in the earlier audit report. In the last 1 year, we have taken several efforts. Our statutory auditor has also gone through the changes through the earlier financial reports. Corrections done whenever it was explicitly incorrect. Corrections were done in the current financial year. One thing, from an understanding perspective, just to clarify to you all, if there are any corrections to be done, revisions to be done in an earlier financial period, any numbers that cannot be gone and corrected in that financial year. It can be done only in the current financial year. Okay? So while I say this year when I'm standing here, I'd like to put forth to you that the financials or any rectifications, the status as of today, we have already approached the DYR and given our submission for a rectification re-audit for the earlier financial years, 22, 23 and 23, 24. This is already there with the DYR. We have been doing a follow-up. As of today, we do not have any status update on none of this, but from our side, we have done our step. So whenever there is a re-audit happening, this re-audit will happen for the 2 said financial years which were not approved. While saying that, I would like to come forward to the most important point for us today, that today we would need you to approve all of these financial years because we have 3 financial years in total which have not been approved. Now, and I'm including 24-25 which is currently closed and has been shared with all of you. What I need from all of you is that you approve the 3 audit reports that are pending, and while I ask for your approval, I am also putting forth any rectification audit whenever it comes forth, and any identifications that are done, the MC takes the responsibility and will come up to you and tell you that these changes are going to be made in the current financial year. So any changes in earlier periods, in earlier financial statements will be done after the re-audit in the current financial year in which the audit is being done. So I will require you to approve.
Just to add more context to this, this will be the 3rd year where we are doing this, right? So this is 24-25, no problems. But previous 2 years, we are obligated to close them. The committee would be again in a problem, your committee, if we don't close these pending reports of previous financial years, right? It has also shown, in last year as well that 22-23 was pending, then 23-24 is pending. Now this year we've shared everything. I think in terms of financials it's all clear. Previously some members have raised concerns on the financial documents. I will come to that. But this year we have to at least have to make that. But if we don't do this, we will become non-compliant. And that's a big risk for us and this committee. And that is why we are coming to you, we're requesting you to get this through. All right, back to you, sir.
So one question regarding this, Yugang Bhardwaj, D2203. Now, since you are asking for approval, what each member will have to do is to look at the AGM SGM minutes or look at 3 years or 4 years of financial reports to identify what was the issue which was highlighted in all those meetings and all those audit reports. For approval, the best course I believe would be to create a small report what issues were highlighted specifically to the audit reports, get them circulated and basis that ask for approvals, not a blanket approval.
Can I answer you, Yugan? Thank you for your query. One point, there was just one set of query which cohesively, extensively was shared by Gaurav. There was just one list of queries. Nobody else from us have given any list of queries, just this one list of query which was very exhaustively made by Karan, and this was made available, discussed in the last 2 financial years in the AGM. So Yugang, it's all recorded and presented as well. What I'd like to request here is, let's not reinitiate the process and delay this. My request to you is, please hear me out, I'll take your point. What I request here is, the audited finance, if you've gone through the audit reports, Yugal, the explicitly, incorrect presentations have all been corrected, right? And that's what's been shared with you. And like, uske upar bhi abhi current nahi questions डालेंगे. So my request is, please don't delay this to another day, wherein we have to again work on this and give you a list of queries what was asked in previous financial years. It is a double task for us. Honestly, with the kind of bandwidth we have, it is difficult. I will put my hands up. With the kind of bandwidth we have, working in this is a little difficult. But my request is, the audit report in itself, there were misappropriations or whatever, explicitly financial corrections, only the accounting corrections have been done. But where there is any explicit, whatever the AO has done, not wrong, that will get corrected when a re-audit happens. And that's when we'll do any corrections. We are not going to touch, we have not touched any of the previous financial years. We cannot. So the thing is, re-audit will happen. Hoने के बाद, whatever corrections, whatever things are done, this will be communicated. We will take it up like that.
Ma'am, duly noted. My issue is the kind of blanket statements which are given. For example, for the cooperative banks, several risks, cooperative banks. It's a blanket statement, doesn't mean anything. All the rectifications which are required to be done will be done. Can we identify those rectifications as and when re-audit opens? We can do them.
Smita, let me take that. So the specific point that you're asking, you have asked a couple of questions. The last question that you asked was, and as I gave an example, was risk for cooperative banks. That is not part of our agenda, so we didn't have to share anything related to that, right? That came up, let me answer that.
Don't answer the questions which are not asked, sir.
Right, so you raised a point, like this should be shared or this should be discussed. We've just mentioned that we will not discuss in this meeting because it is not part of this agenda. We know the risk of cooperative banks. I think most people understand, right? So we'll have a separate discussion on that. As far as these financial documents, right, that have been discussed, we just explained to you all this information. Like you said, we have to review. Well, you have the time to review it. All of these documents have been shared in advance. So right now is not the time to review. Right now is come prepared and then ask questions.
Sir, you have not understood the question or the issue I am raising. The issue is blanket approvals and blanket statements. Can we quantify those? This is a very humble request of mine. You can say, yes, we can quantify, or no, we cannot quantify.
So some of the things are quantifiable, right? Like this much money we need approved. The other things are audit reports which have been shared in advance with you, with all the members, right? Not this time. The previous years when they were, generated. So you got that in 22, 23, 23, 24. some of them, right? So it is not a blanket statement. This is what we have to approve. You have those documents. You come as members prepared with questions if you have anything, or you get the resolution approved, or you reject it. That's the ask, right? So I think in the interest of time, Karan, I hope we've answered some of your queries. We've discussed that we will have a detailed discussion on that one. Even in terms of the audits, Smita has explained the challenge that we have. We have to close the financial documents and we get them approved. जो भी audit में आएगा, when DIR issues it, the re-audit is done, we are obligated to share that with you, have a detailed discussion, have again a form was submitted, so that process will happen. It has to take its course. Right now, if we don't do this, this committee will be in jeopardy. That's what we are asking you to do this. So I hope that part is clear.
Yeah. I want clarity.
Yeah, sure. Mike?
Mike, right.
Mike, बीच में खड़े थे.
Yeah, this is the audit report and statement of rectification 22-23 and the covering letter signed by Mr. Prashant Kale and Anush Nawadikar, who was auditor probably. Now here there was remark there which I want to share so that we can take action on it. He says in his letter that earlier account statement has shown more income over expenditure due to the accountant has reversed all the unclear payment provision made in the earlier years. But in AGM, members are asked to keep all the provision as in the balance sheet, and they will decide later what to do with this provision, whether they are payable or write-off. Now, where are the details of these provisions? For write-off and all these things, we have mentioned in all words. What are, this is 2020. This is signed by auditor and Prashant Kale. This is his covering note on the revised balance sheet. So what are the provisions? Please take care of it when you do re-auditing.
Yes. So
Because you know the write-off is a very, very dangerous word. You don't know what account you want to write off.
right. So this is in the 22-23 one, right? Financial year 22-23, right? That's an observation. We've been following up with the DIR office for a re-audit. We've been sending letters, written requests. Some of the members, some of the staff members have stood there, personally met them. There has been no movement, right? But we are on this, right? That's why you see it is still as a pending item, correct? And all these points, maybe as you have shared in the past, Karan and Janji, we can share a list, this point, right? In the interest of time, when we get the re-audit, we can ask all of these questions, all of them in detail.
I have a question. How much confidence we are having on the statutory auditor and internal auditor that we have in this sector?
Okay. Well, confidence is, see, one part is we do our due diligence, right, to the best of our knowledge, right? We have an accountant, very experienced, right? And Smita, also is a CA, right? And we do our best. Second thing is, we've got an internal auditor for the specific purpose, for the same reason that the things that we do not know or understand, there is a professional whose day job is to do this, right? They are qualified, they are empaneled by the government. So that is another layer. The third layer, of course, is the final statutory auditor. Now, some of them are allocated by the DIR. We do not have a way to really gauge whether they are good, great, they are mediocre, right? But they are the empaneled auditors. You have to choose from that pool and the DIR appoints them. So that is the situation.
Publish the remarks. So do they discuss with the committee or not?
They do share some, observations, like this is the observation. Internal auditor, yes, definitely, we have appointed them. So we got, and this is something, we got them at the very end this time. This year onwards, we have that in the agenda as well. We will have an internal auditor from the very beginning. So all these last minute, surprises that we get, oh, this is something we are supposed to do or this is incorrect, will be taken care of almost every month and at the end of every quarter.
So can I ask you to open the statutory auditor report remark? That is
Okay.
one page, not more than that. There is one point I wanted to highlight. I don't know. You mentioned.
Do you have it?
Remark report. And that's one page.
This one.
Yeah, this one.
I think this is
So, just hold on. Yeah, so here, excellent work done by the society. And the point number 6.
yeah.
Appreciate that or not?
Above 1500 payments are given in cash audit period overruled or bylaws, right? And the person did ask us as well, like why is this?
Just understand, I'm not going to detail on that point. I'm just saying the header. Excellent work done by the society.
Yeah.
What he has written in the excellent work. That's very surprising how much confidence we are having on the auditor is good.
Yeah, I think that's a misplaced perhaps. It's a comment which ideally should be about, and it has come over. Right. So these are things that yes, but we can't ask him to move that.
I am just saying if this is the overall conclusion of whole report, so I am not sure how much in detail we will go into it, what would be there in it.
Right. So my answer to that is he misplaced that statement, but the statement is correct. Right? That he found out.
Not correct. But he's a, like I mentioned, he is a qualified, he's everything.
Right.
So we don't expect such things. So if we go into detail, what all things will be that we are not aware of. So coming back to Yugan's point, he made to it tag only.
Okay. So in this particular case, just because we are on this, right? Sometimes this is the limit, right? 1500 rupees. I'll just clarify that because it is up on the screen. We have to purchase diesel or something on an emergency basis, right? If we know in advance, which is most of the cases, we order in bulk, we pay them, by our this thing, other digital payments, and we take proper receipts. Sometimes that person isn't available, and we are running out of our diesel, so we've got to pay them quickly, like take the cash. Someone from our team makes the payment, and then we get them to. So that is why sometimes that excess amount is paid. And
So I would not go into detail. I have read that 1500 above transaction. But I would definitely try to sit with the auditor and I would like to help you guys how to rectify each audit report's point, and that can be taken ahead. And one suggestion of Yugan that in the next SGM, whenever we publish the code report, you can put all the queries year-wise, wherever it is compliance issue, wherever it is transactional issue, what we have rectified or what we cannot rectify. Those can be published in email before the SGM agenda, and that SGM will be particularly for this report.
Fair point. I think that's a very good suggestion. It is in fact aligned with what we are trying to do currently. The reason we got empaneled internal auditor is because we know we were not experts, right? We are likely to miss something unknowingly, right? And that's why we have this internal auditor. Plus there are experts or people who have much more knowledge than us on the team, Karan and others, right? Who can help us. And we are more than happy to help you join this conversation that we will have with our internal auditors. My request would be, like, if you do spot something like this, right? Something that is a mess, Karan has been very helpful. Come talk to Smita, our accountant, and we can see, before it spirals into a much bigger issue later on, that will, again cause problems for our society. We can nip it in the bud, right? Then and there. So that suggestion taken. Now, going back to you, if you want to take that resolution.
Again, keeping Karan's point in mind, on an SGM, I will put it on record, on an SGM soon, where we have these pointers that Karan you have put forth on the current financial year, and as you mentioned, earlier financial year, whatever corrections have been done, we will present those. The ones which are not to be done, that means what we have not done, what we audit, whenever the audit happens, that will happen. We will have that. Keeping that, I will request you all to please approve
unless, right, there's a re-audit case, right? And in that case, we can, but as soon as we get a re-audit done, it is completed, and there are, we have to submit the rectification report. We'll have to check. Again, I'll